This video is produced by the eClinical Network. This short video will describe the process for using the eSource Readiness Assessment Checklists, otherwise known as eSRA, which are available from the eClinicalNetwork.org website. These assessment checklists allow you to self-evaluate the compliance of a system holding electronic source data used to support clinical trials. An example of such a system is an electronic health record system. When these systems hold source data used for a clinical trial, they should meet good clinical practice requirements. The eSource Readiness Assessment or eSRA checklists have been developed by the eClinical Forum. The objective is to improve the way systems are evaluated for compliance with good clinical practice by providing a standard approach for self-assessment. This allows the assessment to be done once and used many times. This work has been a collaboration between the eClinical Forum, who have provided the content and process expertise, and the Clinical Research Informatics Group of the University of Düsseldorf, who have developed the eClinicalNetwork.org website that provides access to eSRA. The eClinical Forum is a non-commercial organization with member companies from many different business areas interested in clinical research, such as clinical trial sponsors and clinical research organizations, system developers and vendors, and clinical research sites engaged in academic or regulated clinical trials. As a global association with extensive partnerships with other organizations, the eClinical Forum has ensured that the eSRA checklist can be used globally by all of the partners in clinical research. The eClinical Forum's tagline is a network powered by peers. This is an important concept for eSRA. It is provided for free so that the needs of clinical research can be achieved more efficiently through collaboration and sharing of information on the systems that are used to collect and maintain data that will be used for clinical research. Why is a standard approach needed? Our guidance from regulators means that trial sponsors are required by authorities such as the US FDA and Europe's EMA to be responsible for the integrity of data used in a regulatory submission for drug approval. At the same time, there has been a huge growth in the use of electronic health record systems, and as a result, increasingly, clinical research sites have source data for clinical trials originated and stored in their own systems. The requirements for clinical trials differ from those of healthcare delivery, and as a result, the reliability of these systems as source data repositories for clinical trials is often unknown to the trial sponsor. Despite this, the sponsor or clinical research organizations, monitors, or clinical research associates are performing source data verification against these electronic sources. In response, many sponsors have put in place a process to try to understand the GCP compliance of these healthcare systems that are holding source data, and as a result, sites are often being asked to complete different and time-consuming system evaluations from each sponsor. We have had a very favorable response to eSRA from regulators because they see the logic in a consistent and shared approach to evaluating healthcare systems for GCP compliance. How does the eSRA process work? Well, the best way to describe the eSRA process is as a cascade that starts with the system vendor, is then added to by the clinical research site, and is finally used by multiple clinical trial sponsors and CROs or even regulators. In this ideal process, the system vendor completes an eSRA pre-evaluation of their system. This confirms the functionality that's available within the system to meet good clinical practice requirements. This is completed just once as a resource for all of their customers to complete the clinical research site eSRA. In step 2, the clinical research site uses the system vendor pre-assessment to simplify their completion of the clinical research site eSRA. The site confirms that the system functionality is turned on, and where functionality is missing, what steps or process steps are being used to meet good clinical practice requirements. In the third step, a sponsor or CRO uses the completed eSRA provided by their clinical research site rather than their own internally developed form. They work with the site to achieve GCP compliance in those areas where this is needed. The result is that A, the group with the best knowledge completes the relevant sections of the eSRA checklist, and B, the checklist is completed once and used many times. But the process has been designed to be flexible, so the eSRA process can be started by any user. For example, the site can complete their eSRA without the aid of a vendor pre-assessment. They can also send a request via the eClinical network to their system vendor to provide an eSRA pre-assessment if one is not available. The sponsor can use the eClinical network to inform their clinical research site about eSRA and to ask them to participate if they have not already completed an eSRA. Use of the eSRA checklist is free. You can get access by registering on the site at eClinicalNetwork.org. This will give you access to the latest standard checklist of 34 questions based on existing regulations and guidances, as well as linked help text and suggested process steps that you can take to help you meet good clinical practice requirements. It will also give you the ability to store, update and share your assessments that is done once and used many times. And you will also receive notifications of any changes to the assessment template or an annual assessment update reminder. Once registered and logged in, you are presented with resources to help you participate in eSRA. An easy to follow arrow assists you with completing your eSRA tasks. This guide arrow is available for each of the user types that will use eSRA, such as the system vendor, the clinical research site, the sponsor or clinical research organization or regulator. The eSRA checklists are maintained by the eClinical Forum. This is so that they improve based upon learning and your feedback, and so that they reflect the latest regulatory guidance. Here we're showing an example of what the eSRA checklists look like. They are in writable PDF format, meaning that you can enter information into the white areas only. If the eSRA question is not relevant to the specific user, then it is grayed out. For example, criteria number 2 on the system developer and vendor eSRA is grayed out, and there's no option to give a response because this question is not relevant to the system vendor. A more complete sample of the eSRA checklist can be found on the website under the Resources tab. So please start by visiting the website eClinicalNetwork.org. You don't need to register to read the information that is there, but this will help you to understand eSRA and how it can help you. But to participate in eSRA, you will need to register and log in to the eClinical network. Remember that this is free. Once you are registered and logged in, you will have unlimited access to eSRA evaluations, resources and support. So thank you for your attention. We'd like to thank our partners for helping to deliver eSRA to you. Please try out eSRA and let us know if you have questions or feedback. You can contact us either by email at support@eClinicalNetwork.org or by using the Contact Us link at the bottom of the eClinicalNetwork.org website.